I just want to this is just an overview of what I'm going to do right now. We're just going to talk about the timeline of how we transitioned back last February, how we transitioned from pre-corona to post-corona. Then we'll talk about some of the innovations, some of the programs that we came up with during our corona time. And we'll see that many of these programs are going to stick around. They're not just temporary, but they're going to be permanent, and tell a few stories about what happened and how it manifested itself. And then we'll go over some numbers, and then we'll talk about the budget and how we're doing financially. And a lot of it is obviously thanks to your support. Okay, first off, so back in the beginning, I think Purim was our party to end all parties. That was March 10th. As of March 12th, Thursday morning, we were still on for our Shabbos in Jersey City. We called an emergency board meeting, and then it was unanimously decided that you better not do any more events until we figure out what this whole Corona thing is all about. And sure enough, it was canceled. So now we're stuck. We have an organization and we have a lot of young professionals. Now, what do we do with everyone now that every single event that we're planning can't be done anymore? Okay, so here we go. So in April, we come up with, together with our staff, we come up with this brilliant idea. It's called the Masorah Miles program. What was Masorah Miles? So for every online class, we kind of incentivized coming to our online classes. For every online class, our young professionals earned 100 miles. When they accumulate 1,000 miles, they earn a free Masorah trip, a local trip to Florida, to Miami, to Atlanta, to Montreal. We do them all over the place. That's a big feature of our Masorah programming, is the trip. So we all figured, okay, by May, this thing will be over. Lots of people signed up to earn their miles. It was great. We had 80 participants since that time, all coming aboard. I think 56 of them completed their Masorah miles. It was really great. And then people started realizing, hey, this thing is not going away so fast. But anyway, that was our first big real innovation. It was amazing. It's a program we still have. People are still in hopes of cashing in on their miles. We have, like I said, I think 56 people finished their miles program, all waiting to go to trips. We actually do have a trip planned to Florida in March, which is going to be our first weekend Shabbaton since Corona started. So, but we'll see about that. But anyway, that was really great. It launched us into the online Zoom world. And from there, we developed more programs, which we're going to talk about soon. I'll tell you a little bit more details about some of the programs that we innovated. In September was a really cool, it was really a watershed moment, and made me realize the power of one-on-ones. And that's something that we have really transitioned to in Corona. We found that classes are great, especially in the beginning. Classes were great, but people become zoomed out, and to listen to a whole 35, 40-minute shiur on Zoom, after a while becomes more and more, I find that the interest is waning in the online classes. But what has really taken off is, and we'll talk about that soon, is our one-on-one program. And that really was, when September, we had pushed off our usual fundraiser from April. We pushed it till September, and we combined it with a siyum in memory of my father's first yard site. It was unbelievable. That siyum was just tremendous in terms of the inspiration that everyone got, and the bonds that formed from those chavrusas. People who I paired up for the siyum, many of them, I'd say like maybe 15 or 20 or something like that, are still learning today. And they're part of our Thursday night series, which it's called Shtayg. It's part of an Olami endeavor. But really, it's just a chavrusa program. I talk for 10 minutes, I give a Dvar Torah, and then everyone partners up in their own Zoom room for 40 minutes, and it's unbelievable. It's really beautiful. People are the inspired. There's some people, and we'll talk about some of the stories soon, who go way above and beyond that and learn much more than that. But the amount of people learning and the intensity of the learning has gone so much far beyond what we used to do pre-corona. You know, pre-corona, I would get together people in Jersey City, would get like 15, 20 at a class. And it's a class, you know, people are sitting back, they're passive. When you're actively learning, it's so powerful. So now we have 60 to 70 on a regular basis coming in every Thursday night for our Steig series. That's been probably our most successful program. And really it's more effective than things that we used to do in the past. Because it's able, you know, since it is Zoom, it's so much more convenient. People come, they come from all over actually. There's some people come from San Diego. We have people coming from Florida, Kansas, Philadelphia, people who would not normally be able to access Masorah are now able to do it in a very powerful way. And we could talk more about that. Another big innovation in September, for the first time, we partnered up with an organization called Corona Crush. Corona Crush is run by a young single guy, you know, just a punk, 20 in his 20s. He lives in Israel, lives in Tel Aviv, actually religious, and he makes sure that it's only Jews on the website who can only sign up. And what Corona Crush is it allows you know, singles to fill out a dating profile. Not too complicated. They put down their location, their age, their religious preferences. Do you keep Shabbos? Yes, no, a little bit, kind of, you know, and then it says, and who would you like to date? You know, do you want the same as you, or will you be a little flexible in each of these areas, etc. They fill out all these questions, and then the computer algorithm links them up. And for 1 hour, this one happened to be on December 17th, the last night of Hanukkah. For 1 hour, everyone gets between 1 and 7 dates. You can get as many as 7 dates, and each date lasts for 7 minutes. But in the course of 7 minutes, you get a pretty good idea whether you want to see this person again. And even if, you know, 5 or 6 out of the 7 don't work out, but if even one person works out, it's amazing. So anyway, just some of the numbers from that event. We had 864 dates take place on that night, and we had 159, I believe, 159 different, 159 second dates taking place. In other words, that's where if two young professionals would meet on the first date, they would both click yes, I want to see this person again, and then they would be matched up via a mutual email, and we had 159 second dates take place just from that one night alone. So we're going to be doing this again. It's going to be a regular part of our Masorah repertoire. And the second one is going to be taking place in Mirz Hashem, February 15th. And it's really been amazing, and the feedback has been tremendous. It's also a great avenue to just recruit. You get so many people coming in. We had 175 different young professionals, many of them new to Masorah, sign up just for this, for the dating. So it's really been amazing. Here are some of the programs that we've come up with. I mentioned the Corona Crush event. I mentioned the Siyam. We've been able to have speakers from all over the world. Dov Ber Cohen lives in the Old City. Jackie Engel lives in Los Angeles. Dr. Dan Grove talked about how he was one of the first guys to get Corona actually as a medical professional. I talked about that, how that went, but he lives in Baltimore. Again, we're able to access people that we never had access to. Charlie Harari comes on, he's coming on this Monday night. Our Steig program I mentioned, that's over here. That's the Chavrusa program. It's been amazing. We run a virtual trivia night once a month. So that attracts people who are not necessarily interested in the learning, but they want to do some fun Jewish stuff. And it's really cool. We get about 50, 60 on those trivia nights. So a lot of different, I have a Stump the Rabbi where I give something on a talk for 5 minutes on whatever subject I got a question on last week, and then open it up for questions, and they try to stump me. It's very cute. Again, that's all online. People, again, tuning in, not just in the local area. We have people from all over the country. It's really cool. Okay, just a few stories about, what has taken place, and, given all the changes and who we're able to attract. So this right here, The young lady over here is Renata. Renata is from Tampa, Florida. I never met Renata. She started coming in May to our Masorah Mondays virtually because one of the speakers, Rabbi Eli Deutsch, was someone who she met on Birthright when she was in Israel. So Rabbi Eli Deutsch, he posted on Facebook that, hey, I am going to be speaking from Masorah, New Jersey on Zoom if anyone wants to come. So Renata tuned in, and guess what? She loved it. She liked the class. She said, this is amazing. Wow, it's great. And she started coming every week. Fast forward to a couple of months ago, Renata has been learning with Ashley. She decided she wants to go to Israel, even despite the whole Corona challenges and having to be in a lockdown for a month. But she went to Neve this past, I think, October. But it's just someone we never met before, but it just shows you the power. There's another guy from Columbus, Ohio, same story. He I had met a while earlier. He came to one of our trips in 2018, but when everything started going on Zoom, he started coming to our classes. Now he lives in Shar Yashuv as one of the in the yeshiva over there. But again, something that would not have happened had it not been for us moving everything to our virtual online thing. Here's another guy, Perry Reese. Perry, you see, this is a bodybuilder. Perry actually set the record for weightlifting, for the powerlifting in New York State. And he's steroid free, by the way. He's all clean. So Perry's someone who also, he came on board. I kind of just, when Corona hit, I just started reaching out to people, old contacts, people I had fallen out of touch with. Perry, I kind of fell out of touch with a couple of years ago. I had known him actually from Rutgers from 6 years ago. I met him just tabling and I said, hey, you want to go to Israel? He's like, how do you know I was Jewish? I said, because he looked away. So Perry, but I kind of off and on, and he used to come for Shabbos like 3 years ago, but then kind of fell out of touch. I reached out to him in Corona, and we started learning over the phone once a week. He came to sign a retreats with us. He was really into it. And he decided to move into the Shar Yashuv yeshiva as one of the guys there in September. All the guys we sent there, the whole yeshiva got Corona in September. I felt really guilty. Like a few weeks after we sent everyone, they all got coronavirus. I thought they were going to kill me, but it all worked out. They were happy. Here's another story. Jay, is Jay here? I don't know if Jay's on the meeting here, but Jay, this last Thursday, it was unbelievable. Jay made a siyum together with Eric Weinberg on Masechta Brachos. He has been learning with Eric, and this is an example of what I was talking about, that when we set up people for the one-on-ones, it just took on a life of its own. And they now learn between 2 and 4 hours every week. They learn Kitzur Shulchan Aruch and they learn Mishnayos. And we got a new set of Mishnayos for Jay, Seder Moed, and Mir Hashem. We look forward to him making a siyum on that. But this whole, it's just been transformative what we have been able to do, just virtually. It just gives people so much more access to other people in a more intensive, in a more one-on-one way, which to me, there's only one of me. I can only do so much, and there's only one of each of our staff members. They can only do so much. But to leverage the power of the community and to have people learning has just been amazing. And we're going to see the numbers soon, and that'll be a couple of the answers to the questions. But it's really, you'll see the numbers and they really jump off the page. Okay, we had Brian's wedding, Brian Shulamit's wedding this past April. Again, Corona doesn't stop stuff from happening. It was a beautiful wedding. It was supposed to be like 400 people. We ended up having 10 people, but it was beautiful nonetheless. It was really, Brian has been with us also like since the beginning. So there's a lot of nachas, Merit Hashem by everyone else. And then we had, this is Jimmy over here. It's Jimmy. Since we moved everything online, I started posting on Facebook a lot more. On May, I forget what day in May, but it was some day in May. And I posted on my Facebook. I said, now that it's Corona, people have a lot more time. You're at home. It's a great time. It would be a great time to start putting on tefillin. If anyone is interested in a pair of tefillin or learning how to put on tefillin, let me know. And that day happened to be Jimmy's father's second yahrzeit. He lost his father 2 years before that. It was the yahrzeit. And I had only met Jimmy once, actually. He came to one Shabbos in Jersey City, one Friday night, and that's it. That's the only way I knew him. But we were Facebook friends, and he saw the post and he responded, and now he's actually wearing that pair of tefillin that you see. Usually I get people a new pair of tefillin, but he said he thinks he has an old one somewhere. So I said, all right, you can borrow a pair of tefillin. He is now borrowing, he's still borrowing my father's pair of tefillin. Like I meant, back then it was still within my father's first year. So that pair of tefillin that you see on Jimmy Schuster right there belongs to my father. I mean, belonged to my father. It's a really beautiful thing, and he's wearing it in his father's memory. It's a beautiful thing. We also happen to learn once a week. He's one of my regular chavrus, is a great guy. And we have our pre-Shabbos candle lightings that Esther does with a lot of the girls. Really beautiful. About an hour before Shabbos, she does a candle lighting. So those are just some of the, just to give you a little window into some of the stuff that we're doing. Like I said, a lot of these things, a lot of these different things, these events that I'm highlighting here, they would not have taken place if not for Corona. Okay, so now let me just give you a sense of the numbers. Okay. And some of them are, many of them are radically different from what they were in the past 2 years. Okay, so here we go. So Shabbos dinners in 2018, we had 886, 2019, 804, and then 2020, 104. What are you going to do? We lost Shabbos. It's a real shame. I still do little Shabboses at my house about once a month, and I COVID test everyone, but we cannot do that. Obviously, we can't do the big Shabboses that we're used to doing. Classes, look at this, is the most astounding number. In 2018, 44, 2019, 640, 2020, over 1,500 people coming to class. Anyone get close, by the way? Anyone get close to 15, 14? I don't know, we'll see. We'll see at the end. The trips, not too many trips, although we had a trip in, the trip in January before Corona to Miami, and then we had a trip to DC right after that. So we did get 2 trips in, plus Sinai retreats. We had 6 guys come in the summer. We were lucky enough to get that trip in, but other than that, not really any trips. The social events, like I said, we do it online. So we did those virtual trivia contests. We did some other cute ones for social events. That's actually more than we had before, because people can just show up from their living rooms. And the one-on-ones has been really significant also. Went from 307, 280 up to 429. And this is a number which I really hope to increase. I would hope it would get up to 500, 600 next year. I really see the power of the one-on-ones. Again, this is only one-on-ones with staff. This is not including the one-on-ones that we have our volunteers doing in the Steig program and people tutoring. But this is with staff alone, but it's so powerful when you could actually have someone, their one-on-one attention, you could really teach a lot and engage them. Just some more numbers over here. So we have what's called our Masorah regulars. So let me see this, hang on a second. There we go. So we climbed, actually, had more regulars this year than we had in the past, 119. You can see the other numbers are more or less in line of the previous events, but we had even more Masorah regulars now that everything is online. So anyway, I think the numbers just bear out what we've seen. And when things go back to normal, when things are, when we get the vaccine and everyone's good and back to regular life, we do plan on continuing the online presence. We'll probably do somewhat of a hybrid where once a month we'll do a live event, but then everything else will be online. We just found it so convenient for people to come, and it gives access to so many more people than previously. We're definitely going to continue that. And I guess all the money that we save from the sushi and the pizza, we'll put into our Shabbos programs and continue those. Those were certainly, they are sorely missed. Our Shabboses are sorely missed, not having that warmth, that connection. That's something that's irreplaceable, but I think we're doing our best given the circumstances. And here we go. Now here is the funding sources, okay? the Olami gives our total budget is 284,000. Okay, I see it's only percentages over here, and that comes from the Olami Foundation. That's the dark blue circle that we raise. Other than that, we raised 160,000. About 100. What's the? We get 108 from the Olami Foundation. The rest is all raised by us. Of the other funding of the 53%, the Club 36 is 25,000. Okay, so it's the 25,000 comes from, so 25,000 out of about 170,000. That's pretty significant. It's about 15% of what we raise comes from you guys. And that's pretty significant. And I think it speaks volumes that that our funding comes from the people who have benefited, for the most part, the people who have benefited from the programming, and for that we are very grateful. Sorry. Anyway, but that's that's the thank you that I have to say to everyone for keeping everything going, allowing us to expand in spite of the circumstances that we're facing. Allowing us to, to continue to grow, to bring on more people, to allow more people to learn. And hopefully we really do plan on taking big steps after Corona ends. We really plan on taking big steps in terms, now that we have like so many more people on board. Now it's just a matter of capturing them, bring them in for Shabbos, really forming those connections that, that we are sorely missing. So that's the executive summary for today. Now I'd like to reveal the answers to all of the questions. Ashley, if you're available to do that, to just go over the questions over here, and we'll see who got the right answers. Hang on a second. All right. Okay. Hang on one sec. Okay, so the first question, actually, hang on, I want to bring up these pictures once again. So, it's not coming up. It's not, sorry about that.
Here, I'm gonna.
Okay, great.
Share my screen.
Yeah.
Okay, here's the answer key. We'll see how close everyone got. Okay.
Okay. Which perm party was the most recent? Yes, that is C. That was from 2019 on the rooftop of 50 Regent. How many of you all got C? Well, Ashley knows who got C. Okay, that's the first. And that's a guy, by the way. That's Jay, whatever.
Yeah,
okay.
And it's all in the answer key, so we can look back to see. A few people got it right.
How many?
A few people, a bunch of people got C. So
okay, good.
Good job.
Okay, I definitely got it.
Yeah. When was this photo taken? That was way back in 2016. That was in the beginning of Masora. Masora's been around since September 29, 2015. So there you go, way in the beginning. There's Julie and Albert. Okay. I hope Julie and Albert got that right. Okay, which is the oldest photo? Yes, that is a photo, interestingly enough, of Becky and Stephen. Now, Becky and Stephen are now married with a little beautiful baby boy. They actually met. That is the first time ever taking a photo together. They met on the Masora barbecue, September 3rd, 2015. They met at that barbecue. Stephen, I invited him to the barbecue. He's like, I'm really tired. I don't think I'm going to make it. And then his mother, saw him lying on the couch. She said, "Stephen, get off the couch. What are you doing?" And so he got off the couch and he came to the barbecue and he met Becky, and Baruch Hashem, the rest is history. I had a feeling that night, so we decided to get a picture, and Baruch Hashem, all worked out. Okay. How many young professionals attended in 2020? 1514. Who got the closest answer to 1514? Who got within 100? Anyone?
Doesn't look like anyone. I think Seth had the closest at 1200. And Maya also guessed 1200.
1200. Okay, we'll give a 1200. What should we give them the right answer? No, I don't know. We said within 100.
I think
so.
1200 was the closest guess.
Okay, so we'll give the 1200 the right answer. Okay, fine. Yeah, that really was surprising. And how many individual one-on-one meetings took place with Masora staff? 429. Anyone close?
We got some 300s.
Okay.
A few people said 300. That was the closest.
300 is the closest. Okay. All right. All right, I'll let you decide how to score that one. And where was this photo taken? That was at the Pesach barbecue, which, by the way, that Pesach barbecue was, that was like one of our biggest events ever. I think I had like 130 people or something like that. Yeah, so that was in Pesach 2018.